Alright guys, welcome back. Last time we did a presentation on the Dom set build, right? That was the first one. And due to popular demand, I was asked to make one for crit build. I'm a bit late on that because I didn't actually have the build up and running at the time, but now I do, and I've played it for a bit, and I'm good to go, guys. I'm good to go. Last time we did the Dom set build. This time I do the Nightmare set, okay? So before I get into this, if you didn't watch the last video, I'll quickly summarize the first build, the Dom set, okay, and the differences. So the Dom set one is spammy and fast. It is uptime king, okay? And you also have to manage a Dom set. Unfortunately, you have this set called Dominion, and you have to manage these two runes called Conviction Judgment for this set. And also, you can run out in long fights. And also, it may be bad in short fights where you're doing mechs back to back. Potentially. That's why I added potentially, okay? That is the Dom set, okay? But it's the more popular one out of the two because people like fast and spammy builds. The Nightmare version is a more bursty playstyle. It's slower, but surprisingly not that much. Not that slow. You activate your set and that's it, guys. Press V, Awakening, Nightmare active, boom, done. No CNJ needed. Giga Chad. And it works pretty consistently in any raid. So what's the playstyle of this build, huh? It's, well, you activate Nightmare, you build at least 60% meter because you have 3 spender skills. And in case you don't know what 60% looks like, this is what 60% looks like, okay? Am I reading this right? Dom sucks at short fights and long fights, so it's just bad. Why go Dom then? No. Okay. When I say short fight, I meant like it's situational. Bad, okay, long fights because you have 5 awakening uses plus 1 from the workshop with awakening 3, so 6 awakening uses, which is 12 minutes of Dom set time. If a fight is longer than that, example Con gate 3 hard mode, you'll probably run out by gate 4. And when I say short fights, I mean like fights that you're doing a lot of damage and you're just pushing mechs. This boss gets to like this amount, X this amount, they get DR'd and you have to do a mechanic, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, anyways, this is what 60% looks like because the meter really doesn't tell you how, so I just did it myself here. Basically, there's an extra step with Nightmare, so you also buff your move speed and then use your spenders because you're using raid captain. I'll get to this in a second, okay? It's in a different slide, but yeah, this is basically a summary. All right guys, so stats, just for the record, I'm not gonna talk about the full Swift build because, to be honest, you can just copy the build from my Dom set video and then just go full Swift 6 Nightmare and not use CNJ, and that's it. And it basically plays the same except you're trying to be in Boundless, and I'm not gonna really cover that because I don't really recommend that. So the stats are pretty flexible. You either go 50-50 or full crit, or you can go somewhere in the middle too. You can go like 60-40, 70-30 if you want. Depends on your style. Personally, I have run full crit. I have almost 1800 crit. My crit with Adrenaline 1, crit stat, and spenders is 90% on my spender skills. This skill has 100% crit, which is also a damage skill. If I play with a crit synergy with these stats, I'm overcapped. I'm wasting that crit. For that situation, I have a Swift ring here on backup. If I have a crit sin in my party, that's what I like to do. You can do that too if you want, or you can just say fuck it, I'm lazy, I'm not gonna do anything, I don't care if I'm overcapped on crit, who cares? Like, you can do that too if you want. Skills and runes. Basically the same as the Dom set build, except you run no C&J, you just put on more Gale Winds, and the only difference is you take Slasher instead of Rising Claw, because since you're playing the crit version and you have more crit and less swift, your cooldowns are longer and gauge generation isn't really an issue. You only take Rising Claw because, well, you're spamming more spenders off CD, so you definitely need the gauge gain from Rising Claw. Even with full crit, I don't really have a problem with that. So you run Slasher, and yeah, Slasher's a fun skill to use. And Piercing Thorn does not generate gauge, while Slasher generates very little gauge. The only difference between the tripods is on Cruel Cutter, the first one, you run the Nimble Movement one instead of the Bleed one. I'll get to that in a second, okay? In another slide. So Engravings, alright? So you run Perfect Suppression level 3, alright? And that's in my next slide, why you do that, alright? I'll get to that in a second. This is an example 5x3 plus 1, okay? You go Adrenaline 1, not 3, because crit isn't really an issue with this build. Can I just go 50-50 without Cursed Doll? What would you run instead of Cursed Doll? Mass Increase? Nah, don't do that. Nah. This is not a full Swift class. Only go Mass Increase with full Swift, alright? Anyways, so the best 9/7 you can cut is probably Cursed Doll Adrenaline. Now obviously Adrenaline 2 is better to have, but honestly, if I were to cut a reverse 9/7 with Adrenaline 9 and Cursed Doll 7, I mean, I'll fucking take it, to be honest. It is not the BIS, but hey, I'll take it. This is a potion drinker build. Just don't get hit. Why PS level 3? So basically, the build is more focused on the damage of spenders. In case you don't know what this engraving does, it says normal skill damage. Keyword normal skill damage. What does that mean? That means if you look at this image right here, the skills that are circled are only affected here. So that's your spenders and your counter skill. That's what this engraving affects. And because you're more focused on the damage from spenders and burst, it's better to go PS3. And plus, you don't go Adrenaline 3 in the 50-50 or full crit build, because even in the 50-50 build, your spenders have a 70% crit around there. You overcap it, you can drop off Adrenaline because you're not as spammy. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I meant to say. You don't need the crit. You got 70% with Adrenaline 1. You're good. Still good. 50-50 build, full crit, 90% with Adrenaline 1, still good. If you have a 9/7, Adrenaline 2, boom, 95% crit all of a sudden. Wow. Gems are the same as the Dom set build. 5 damage gems, 6 cooldown. So yeah, these are the gems you get. If I had to say which one you prio, okay? If you had to pick a level 10 gem, damage gem, which one would you prio first? It'd be Cruel Cutter, okay? This one, #1 priority. Grind Chain and Spinning Weapon are tied for 2nd place, okay? Oh wait, did I confuse? Oh wait. Sorry. I meant cooldown gems. My bad. The damage gems don't matter. Sorry, I meant cooldown. You should prio cooldown for Cruel Cutter first. I mixed and matched the two. My bad. Isn't Spinning Weapon highest cooldown? No, Grind Chain and Spinning Weapon are the same. And I think this is also the same as these 3. Cruel Cutter is your like shorter by like 1-ish, 2-ish seconds. You don't wanna desync the cooldowns from Grind Chain Spinning Weapon, because that's like a combo, right? You always use them together. And then probably this skill too. This one will get desynced because Cruel Cutter is a shorter cooldown than the rest. Like look, I can show you. Look. 13, 15, 15, 15. Yeah, so these 3 skills share the same cooldown. This one is shorter by like 2 seconds, so it's gonna desync. This one's gonna desync, but that's okay. It doesn't matter too much. This one already desyncs, so just prio the cooldown here. All right, guys. Now we get to the rotation. Okay, so remember how I said there's a move speed steroid on this class. Remember in this slide I said buffs move speed with skills and then use spenders. You have 2 move speed steroids on this class, so you're not capped at move speed for raid captain. Cruel Cutter and Slasher both have move speed steroids. One of them is 3 seconds and one of them is 5 seconds. So use Cruel Cutter before your burst for 3 seconds, so you have capped move speed for your burst, or use Slasher. If you want a demonstration, here's what I mean, guys. Okay, so like, look, I'm not capped move speed, so one thing you can do is boom, and you just use those skills while your move speed off. Okay, now Cruel Cutter is not synchronized with the rest of your spender skills, and if you enter Boundless, it'll most definitely not be synchronized. So what I like to do is, if I don't have Cruel Cutter up, let's say this is on cooldown, right? I'm like, oh shit, my move speed steroid is gone. I'll just use Slasher, and I'll do the same thing, right? And Slasher is more lenient because Slasher's move speed lasts 5 seconds and Cruel Cutter is 3 seconds. So like, if you're ever like bursting, right? So like, let's say like the boss does a pattern I can burst, I can be like, oh shit, bang! I want a piercing thorn, but I have to dodge the boss. My move speed ran out. If you don't have the move speed, just Slasher and then finish it off. Slasher's steroid is almost up anyways. Yeah, it is actually. In Boundless, it's 100%. In Magic Addiction, it's like you have like 2 seconds of no move speed steroid, so it's pretty good. That doesn't mean always spam it, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty lenient with this. So like, sometimes there are fights where I'll just spam Cruel Cutter off CD and I don't have any of my burst up. I'll just Slasher and use the rest of my skills. As long as you get that move speed steroid, you're good. I have a question. Why should we trust you when you have skill issue? No comment. This build uses the Nightmare set, okay? No management needed, really. That's the best part. And in case you don't know what Nightmare does, Magic Addiction, more damage, Boundless, more attacks, move speed, and lower CDs. Also, fun fact, I was testing Trixie a lot yesterday. I tested my normal DPS with just regular settings, and then I did a test with unlimited resources to simulate like if I never go into Boundless, right? So unlimited mana, like hypothetically if I never go into Boundless, and I actually found that I did more damage when I alternate between Magic Addiction and Boundless. Of course, otherwise. Is it really of course? I mean, I didn't know that. Well, okay, here's the thing. Look, I play Zerk. You go into Boundless, you do Z damage. You're fucked. So I guess I'm just used to that, really. So like that's why I was kind of surprised that like I did more damage. Like, it's just a me thing. You might have already known that, but so that means if your support sprinkles you with a mana like a god, you lose. Actually, the funny thing is, a Heart-a-Con last week on Thursday, I had an artist and I also had a summoner on my team, so 2 mana sources, and I was still hitting Boundless. It's still pretty easy to hit Boundless in this build. In a real raid, it doesn't matter. Shadowhunter skill just drink mana. Yeah, they use a lot of mana. Like, look, let me give myself Spirit Absorb to simulate Yearning. Like, look how, like, so I don't go into Boundless in one rotation, but my next rotation I'm gonna go into Boundless. Yep, there you go. I'm in Boundless now. It takes like 1.5 rotations. And then when you're in Boundless, just fucking start spamming like fuck it, yeah, spam. But yeah, so basically, Magic Addiction good, Boundless also good. You don't have level 10 CDs on this character. I don't even have level 10 CDs on this character, and I can hit Boundless pretty fucking quick. Imagine if I did. have level 10 CDs. Holy, that's even faster, Boundless, you know? Anyways, yeah, guys, so that's the presentation, guys. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Did I enlighten you? I missed the entirety of your presentation. Could you repeat everything? Nope. You're late to class. Nope. Yeah, you've spoken freely and used pictures. I liked it. Yeah, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is going on YouTube. If you have questions, leave a YouTube comment. I'll do my best. And yeah, that's the build. That's the build, guys. Full crit. Very fun build.